Hi there, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for clicking on this video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 7 tips on how to start your reselling business. A lot of these tips can also kind of just help you with any regular business you want to start. Doesn't have to be specifically reselling, but these are the tips that I used when I started my reselling business.
We've been dancing for so long under the stars. I feel that the grass will cut through my skin.
If you guys go about this the cheapest and the smartest way, and you take all the free options that I give you throughout this video, you can start your reselling business with $0. It's that easy. You can start from $0 and be on your way to making, who knows, depends on how much you put into this. I know resellers that do this full time, that leave their job, do this full time, they pay their rent, all their other bills. So you can go from $0 to doing just that if you really put your heart into it and you do the research. And yeah, the first thing I think everyone needs to know before they start their reselling journey is where to get their inventory. And inventory is the clothes, the shoes, accessories that us resellers resell. And that's just pretty much reseller lingo. Maybe I should do a video later on for new resellers and helping them with reseller lingo, because when I first started, I was like, what does any and all of this mean? But let's just hop straight into these tips. Tip number 1, like I said, every reseller needs to know before they begin, is inventory. Where to get your inventory. I highly, I cannot stress this enough, highly recommend that you start from your personal closet first, or if you live with someone, their closet if they let you. A really good tip for this too, and I forgot where I learned this from, is to switch all of your hangers the opposite way of how you usually hang your clothes. And every time you wear an item and then you go to hang it back up, you hang it the regular way that you usually hang your clothes. That way, 6 months down the road, you can just look into your closet and visibly see what you haven't worn in 6 months. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And if you do live with people, like I said, if they let you go through their closet or they go through their closet themselves and they give you the items they no longer want, it is always nice to try to work a commission out for yourself, because you're doing all the hard work. You're photographing the item, you're gonna list it, you have to ship it, all of that, and they're just simply giving you the stuff and you have to give them money for that. So it's really good to try to work out a small commission that you earn when you sell something of theirs. And I say this because some people, and this will lead into my next tip, some people are willing to just kind of give you stuff for free. A lot of them were just gonna donate their clothes, and if they know that their clothes can actually help someone financially, they are more inclined, they're more willing to just give it to you for free. So in those cases, you know, you don't have to cut a commission for yourself, because all those things they just gave you, it's free. That money you earn from it, it's gonna be yours. But when you're selling for like a friend, a family member, a coworker, most of the time they're gonna want that money from there. So that's when I say to always communicate with them for a small little commission price that you can get. One small tip I would like to throw into this as well is, it is honestly really good to have more items in your clothes. I truly believe, more items in your clothes, more items in your closet. I truly believe that after you make one sell, it triggers more sells. I'll have days where I'm super slow, I'll make one sell and I'm like, okay, look at me go, girl. And then another sell comes in that day and I'm like, let's go, I'm buying me a new bag. And it's like $12 I made, but I'm on fire. Like 2 sells in one day and I was just in a drought. I be hyping myself up sometimes, but you can do that as well if you just simply ask people for clothes. I personally like to keep at least, if I can, over 100 items in my closet for people to shop. And I really can't do that as much as I was able to without selling my friends and my coworkers items. So just like food for thought, I guess. Another way to get inventory, like I mentioned earlier, is just by simply asking people. A lot of people are planning on donating their stuff, or they're planning on going through their closets soon. And if you just ask them if they're about to donate any items, if they have stuff they don't want, if you can either come and pick it up or if they could drop it off for you, I'm like more than 50% sure they're gonna be down with that. And you're not personally messaging each person, you're posting these on platforms, and people, if they have it, if they're interested in helping you out, they will comment on it. So it's not really a lot of hard work for you. Only hard work would maybe be typing out the post, and then if you have to go pick it up, doing so. But in the end, you're gonna get a bunch of free stuff and then convert that into cash. I highly recommend using Facebook, just simply posting something on your Facebook account, and also joining groups within your community on Facebook and posting in there. That's how I got a majority of my closes. I just can't talk today. That's how I got a majority of my clothes when I did this a couple months back. I joined all the nearby cities around me on Facebook, and then I just put the same posts in all of them, and I got a lot of responses. But next door, Facebook groups, Instagram, if you have your friends on there, that's gonna be an easier way for you to reach all of them at once. Instead of sending multiple text messages out to all of your friends, you can just simply post on Instagram and just be like, hey, if any of you guys have clothes, hit me up. Also with that, you can post on Twitter as well. Someone's trash that they think is no longer valuable could be worth $20 to me because I know that I could sell it somewhere. And hey, it might just be small little $20, but that $20 is gonna fill up my gas tank, and it's not gonna come from my bank account personally. Nope. I track everything that I sell, so not only just the items that I go and personally thrift, but all of my coworker stuff, my friends stuff, even all the donations that I got. I track everything that I sell. I look at the gross amount, and then I also look at my actual profit. But since they're donations, it's all 100% profit. So I just kind of want to give you, I guess, a look into how much money you could possibly make by just simply reaching out to people and asking for their donations. I was able to make, back in March, $530.01.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
I truly wanted to just round it up and tell you guys I made $530. But then I thought, no, they're not gonna believe me. They're gonna think it's a lower number probably, and that I just rounded it up. No, girl. I made $530.01, 1 penny over that. But think of that, $530 of people's used clothes that they were just going to donate to Goodwill. Which Goodwill, ooh. If you choose that route, like I said, by asking people, you are pretty much making a routine for yourself of buying inventory. I wish I actually would have done this and done more research into this before I started reselling, and that's why I'm here sitting telling you guys about it. Take that $530, save $430 of that, and then take $100 to the thrift store. You guys would be surprised with the amount of items you can get at Goodwill with $100, especially if you're shopping the right. My battery just ran out of storage, so if the view has shifted a bit, I apologize. But what I mean when I say shopping right at these thrift stores, I mean shopping right at these thrift stores. You're hitting up Goodwill every other Saturday when they have 20% off store-wide. You gotta make sure though if it's at your location too. I'm not sure if it's in every state, but also shopping and at least purchasing $20 worth of items, because that way you can use the 20% off coupon. And if you're subscribed to their emails, you automatically get the 20% off coupon every month sent to your email. But if you're not subscribed to them, you can simply just Google their monthly coupon every month. But you have to strategize. Even if you're thrifting and you're paying less, you can still pay even less than less. Back to the money. You make $530, you save $430, you take $100 to the thrift store, and you're thrifting real savvy, and you purchase a bunch of items with that $100. You then sell those items, you take out $100 from the funds, and then you save the rest of the profit that you made, and then you reinvest that $100 back into more inventory. And then it's just a reoccurring cycle that continues and continues, and your business just thrives, and your bank account thrives more. The second tip is shipping. USPS literally offers you guys free shipping supplies. It blows my mind because I see people literally buying the same shipping supplies inside USPS, but they offer it for free on their website, so I don't know. But you can literally Google USPS free shipping supplies. It's gonna give you all of everything that you need for your business. They have different size boxes, shoe boxes, game boxes, poly mailers, there's tape even, you name it, they got it. And not only do they got it, but they deliver it to your door for free. You can also buy poly mailers off of UP Ship. You can also get some off of Amazon, I'm pretty sure. UP Ship does have a collaboration with Poshmark, so if you sell on Poshmark, I'd recommend getting them. I have a lot of different styles from them. Let me actually grab them and show them to you guys. Okay, so these are all the poly mailers that I currently have. I mean, I also have some from USPS, but these are the graphic ones, you could say. These ones right here are from UP Ship, and like I said, they have a collaboration with Poshmark. So it has really cute detailing on it. It says Posh Love, and then I have this other style that says Self-Made Posh Boss, and these are what I ship my items out when I sell something on Mercari, or if it's like a first class shipping label, I use this because clearly it's not priority shipping, so I can't use a priority box. And then the last stack of poly mailers I have are from a brand called noissue.co, and I actually did a review on them. They're amazing. These poly mailers are long and they really shape to fit whatever you're trying to put in them. Not only that, but it just says it right there. Period, they said. The third tip is going to be about shipping. Each app that you use is going to automatically send you a shipping label, a prepaid shipping label, as soon as you make a sell. I ran out of storage earlier and then my camera battery just died, so it's that kind of day. You do not need to worry about having to go into these apps to try to find the label or anything. They automatically send the shipping label to your email. Not only that, but if you have a Dymo label, I have a Dymo label printer. It's the 4XL version. There's multiple, I don't know. But if you have that printer, you do not need to use the shipping label sent to you in the email for Poshmark. You could just simply download the shipping label from the Poshmark app. But I have not figured out how to print my Mercari shipping labels on the Dymo printer, so I'm still trying to figure that out. And the last step with shipping is to use USPS to come and pick up your packages. They actually have a way for you to just request a pickup for that day. You just have to go online, submit a request for them, and then if I'm having a really good sales week or something, I'll actually add a couple more packages to the request form. That way, if they're picking it up tomorrow and I request it early in the morning today, and then I sell something else throughout today, I want to make sure it's more accurate. So you don't really have to do that, but I just do that to be safe. I don't know. If you don't feel comfortable leaving your packages outside your house, or maybe you live in an apartment complex and you don't really know where to leave them so that they can pick it up, you can always go into the post office and drop it off. They have a drop box for you. You should always check with your local post office because mine, they're not open, like people aren't in there 24/7, but their doors are open 24/7. So I can go in and drop a package off whenever I need to. So I also recommend doing that because you don't ever have to stand in these long lines because you have a prepaid shipping label. So when you sell something on these apps, the buyers are paying for shipping. Therefore, you have a prepaid shipping label and you don't have to stand in these long lines. So just use the little drop box if you can't set out your packages outside for the mailman to come and pick up. The fourth tip is lighting. Use natural lighting to your advantage. Natural lighting is always going to be the best type of lighting. It is natural. For like the first half of my reselling journey, I was waking up at like 6 a.m. because in Arizona, it gets to like 100 degrees around 10 a.m. So I'd wake up at 6 a.m. I'd go outside and I'd start photographing my items. And then I eventually got a ring light. So I moved my setup inside and I would open up the curtains in that room, use natural light on top of my ring light, and it just kind of made it even better. But like I said, if you're trying to do this the cheapest and smartest way as a beginner, you do not need a ring light. You just need some natural light and you can do it. And I recommend when it comes to taking photographs with the different types of lighting that you take a couple practice photos. Just take some photos with, if you have a ring light, with the ring light on, and then take some photos with the ring light on, but also your lights on in the room. If you have dull yellow lights, in this room that I'm in, there's actually dull yellow lights, so I always have them off when I'm filming. Even if it's like midnight, I don't have them on. I only have my ring light on because it just kind of kills the mood. I don't know. Just mess around with the photographs. Take a couple practice photos and then just compare them. Tip number 5 is going to be taking photos. When you take photos, I recommend that you kind of just mess with the lighting on your phone. What I mean is when you're on the camera, you can tap on the camera and you can make the dot go up or down. And when you do that, it kind of messes with the lighting. And sometimes I do that if it doesn't mess with the actual color of the item item I'm photographing. When you're taking your photographs also, you definitely should take them using square mode on your camera. And I say this because a majority of people resell on Poshmark, and for some reason on Poshmark, if you do not take photos in the square mode, it's gonna have these weird black lines around the photograph. And I just recently found out, and I've been reselling for like 3 years now, that if you just use the square mode on your camera, that won't happen and you don't have to sit there and waste even more time editing your photos. All the other apps aren't like that. They don't have weird square lines, so it's kind of annoying that you have to do that just for one app. But like I said, a lot of people resell on there, a lot of people buy on there. So I'm sure if you're starting your reselling journey, you're going to be reselling on Poshmark. So that's a huge tip. If you take anything away from that, please take photographing in a square away from this video. When I photograph, I use 2 sheets of material that I actually got from Michaels. So when I'm taking photographs of dark items, I take it on my wall. If it's like tops, anything that I can hang up, I take the photographs on my wall, and my wall is actually a beige color. But as you can see in all of my photos, there's a white background. If it's shorts, pants, skirts, anything like that, I have a white material. Let me grab it for you. So I have this white material that I use. I unfold it, I put it on the ground, and I just photograph all my items on it. You do see lines in the photographs, but the same app that I use when I edit on my wall is the same app that I edit when I'm taking photographs with this. And then if I'm taking photographs of lighter things, I use this black sheet that I got from Michaels as well. Like I mentioned, I got those sheets from Michaels, and I used a coupon when I got them too. So I definitely did not spend more than $10, like probably $5 on both of them. If you're trying to thrift and start a reselling journey, make sure you're thrifting. Like, make sure you're being as thrifty as possible. Download these stores apps before you go to them and check to see if they have coupons. I recently got this. It's from this company called Replica Surfaces, and it's a marble pink color. Honestly, you could probably make it for way cheaper if you're crafty. I'm not crafty, but it was gifted to me. I use that when I'm photographing smaller items or shoes. And the 6th tip is editing photos. I'm gonna talk to you guys about 2 apps that I mainly use. I guess kind of just one app that I mainly use now. Since I told you guys to photograph in square mode, I don't really use one of these apps anymore. That app is InstaSize. If you have a photo that doesn't fit, you can go to InstaSize, add the photo in, and it's gonna add borders around it. And that's what I really hated about it, is seeing those white borders, but I didn't want my listing to have that weird black lining around it, so I'd always add those. But since I started photographing in a square mode, I no longer need to use InstaSize as much. The second app that I really use a lot, and this is the app that helps me get my beige wall looking completely white, it's called Snapseed. So Snapseed, if you add a photo to it, and I think it's the 2nd row, it's like the 4th thing that you can click on, it's called selective. You click on that, and then anywhere on your background where you want to make it white, you add it there, and then you just slide the little slider thing, I don't know, to the right, and it makes it more white. And then you just continue doing so until your whole background is completely white. And my 7th tip is to download all the apps you possibly can to sell your stuff on. All these apps are pretty different from each other. Some are more easier to navigate, but having all of your stuff on all these different types of platforms helps widen your chance of making a sell. For instance, this buy sell app that I had downloaded once when they first came out, it's called Curtsy. They were a new app, and a lot of resellers went over to them, and I just wasn't seeing any traffic on there. And it takes a lot kind of to list your item on multiple platforms. When I saw that I wasn't getting traffic on that app, I was just kind of like, whatever. I deleted it. During the pandemic, I had a lot of time. We all have a lot of time. So I took advantage of that time, and I started listing all the stuff I have on Poshmark, Mercari, all these apps. I started listing all of them over to Curtsy, and so far I've made 7 sales. And I mean, 7 sales is not a lot compared to the other apps I'm on, but those are 7 items that maybe wouldn't have sold so soon if they weren't listed on Curtsy. So like I said, having all these apps downloaded just helps widen your chance of making one sell. I'll leave you with a list of buy sell apps that you can definitely download to make them sells. Get that coin, girl. You have Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Poshmark, Mercari, Curtsy, The RealReal, TradeZ. I've never personally used The RealReal because I don't understand their whole process. But if you can do the research and you understand the process. Do you, girl? Get that coin. With OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace, I highly recommend using these to your advantage because not only do they have shipping, so you can also ship across the country, but they have local buyers. So you have two ways of making a sale compared to just on Poshmark and Mercari. The only way you can make a sale is through shipping. What I've been selling on OfferUp and Facebook these past couple months during the pandemic is before we make any confirmation on the sell or whatever, I'll just ask them if they're okay with me leaving the item on my bench outside my house and if they would be okay with just leaving the money in my mailbox that's right above it. I do this because we're in a pandemic. Like, I'm not trying to see nobody. And two, I'm an introvert. Like, I just really don't need to be meeting new people, strangers right now, ever, let's be honest. I recommend you do that as well if you do want to sell on Facebook or OfferUp. If you have trust in people, I honestly tell people when we do this on OfferUp or Facebook that if they say they're okay with me leaving it outside, I tell them, cool, just go ahead and let me know when you're here. I'll make sure no one gets the item outside with my camera. That way they kind of think like I have a camera outside and they're like, okay, I can't steal from this girl. I'm like, got you. That is all the tips that I have for you today on how you can start your reselling journey in 2020. Not even reselling journey, just a business and how to get some items for free, honestly. I'm so sorry for all of the cuts, the shifts in this video. I'm just irresponsible, clearly. Can't figure out how to keep my camera's battery charged. So after I'm done filming this, I will go straight to charging this battery because it keeps dying on me. It's died 3 times now. I've ran out of storage on this camera today. I'm crying. If you have any questions about what I said or maybe what I didn't say, something you already had a question about, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll definitely reply and get back to you guys. As always, my social media accounts are linked down below along with some links for petitions and donations. If you want to continue your support in this Black Lives Matter movement, that is it. Peace out, guys.
I've seemed to prolong our existence, but I